All right, Paulo Gonzalez, Fight Sport Manila. Amazing day today because joining me is NXT, HKWF. He's also from the WWE. We have Ho Lun. Ho Lun, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Came into Manila 3 days ago, get some proper rest, get some good food, and I'm here today for MWF Republika.
MWF Republica. But before we start, man, we have to thank you because we spoke to the jury last time and he said you are the reason why he came here.
Oh, did we? I didn't know that. Yeah, me and Tajiri was very good friend back in 2017 when we were both in NXT. He and I we live in the same village for that short 5 months while he come back to the States for a short period of time. We hang out quite a lot, so and he by the time he was a part-time coach in Performance Center for a while. Other than he is also touring for 205 Live for you know. Yeah, we were a good friend. And then since he came back from Japan and I come back to Hong Kong, we have met quite a few times. We met one time in Malaysia, and he wrestled in Hong Kong for 2 times. Friendship continue.
Well, thank you, man. You bring a lot of great talent. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. This is your fourth time in the country.
I uh, I think so. I think this is the fourth time. I come here for many times, and I didn't actually count how many times I'm here. But most of the time I'm here, the opponent I face is always Robin Sane.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Robin Sane, you're finally doing a trilogy. I know you fought like three times already, but the other one's a tag team match. How does it feel that you're finally gonna settle the score with this trilogy bout?
Well, the last 3 times when we face off each others, he was not a champion yet. I hope he grow up a bit as a champion, and let's see what he got tonight.
And with regards to that, man, how do you see this to be the definite end to your rivalry, or do you see yourselves fighting like five more times or like nine more times?
This is not going to end because after tonight I win his MWF championship. I think I'm gonna come here all the time and defend my championship, and beat every single Filipino wrestler.
Oh, so we are preempting something going to happen, huh? But let's talk about MWF. You've been here from day one. You know, your first time that you came here, you were wrestling in a boxing gym. How does it feel now? You're already inside the mall. Did you expect this kind of growth from them?
Well, this story come back to right after I come back to WWE. Since I come back to Asia, I give myself an objective. I call it Asia Wrestling Revolution. I spent the last 10 years, building wrestling in Hong Kong, and I finally let the world understand about this wrestling other than Japan in Asia. You know, they noticed that they're wrestling in the Chinese community in Hong Kong. So, the next 10 years, my plan is to build Asia, Southeast Asia specifically, the independent wrestling scene as big as it is as in America. Wrestling in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Philippines, we all start like from 2012, 13, 14. It is quite an infantry. As one of the pioneers in Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, we started 2007. And with our experience wrestling across Europe, Japan, NXT, America, I hope to bring my experience to build up this scene, so wrestler can have a secure job as a professional wrestler. Fans can be able to witness, great match, not only on YouTube, not only in front of the computer or in front of TV, but in front of an actual wrestling ring.
And yeah, you mentioned about HKWF. You know, there's a lot of Filipino Chinese community. I have friends, and one of the thing that I noticed about their parents, they're very strict. Was it so hard to like integrate the pro wrestling scene to Hong Kong?
What do you mean by
Like
strict?
like strict parents.
Oh, strict parents. Um, yes, it is. It's in especially in Hong Kong. Um, well, in Hong Kong, basically wrestling's on TV was um, already exist back in 1970s, 80s when there's black and white TV. It stopped for a while. On the 90s, we have WWF on our cable TV, but it go on and off, on and off. So there's a lot of people aware about professional wrestling, but there's no way for them to understand this more clearly about what actually we're doing. Because sometimes there's wrestler with a mask, sometimes they bring a chair in and break through a table. So what we're doing in Hong Kong now is to educate um, this kind of fans about, there's still a lot of people have this misunderstanding about is how violent it is. Well, violence is, one of the elements, but the more elements inside professional wrestling is the entertainment elements. You know, in the United States, in Japan, this is a family kind of entertainment. Parents bring their kids into professional wrestling show over the weekend to enjoy a happy evening. Um, that's what we do here. We educate the Hong Kong population to understand and how to appreciate this, and this is our goal. This is our goal to let more people to enjoy live pro wrestling event.
Now, you did mention about the WWE and educating them. I mean, educating the Hong Kong masses. But the WWE recently had a tryout, and we saw you there. Like, how do they see the Asian scene based on what you observed?
Well, I'm actually there because I have been wrestling in Southeast Asia a lot, wrestling in the China independent scene a lot. I got invited to get there to just to take care of some of the independent talent. Um, so this time they have over 40 candidates for the trial. Half of them have experience in professional wrestling. About 12 to 14 of them are very, very familiar face in Southeast Asia. We got athletes from Philippines, from Thailand, from Singapore. They wrestle in Philippines quite a lot. Um, so I think this is just the first time. I mean, of course, WWE noticed that independent scene are happening in Southeast Asia, but this is the first time officially they have seen this independent wrestling in person. So that, and also I think they did a impressive job. Not only showing the basic of pro wrestling, but also showing them the passion, showing them how good they want to be, showing them what they have done without, a proper, how does a proper system to train. They have a system to train, but in Southeast Asia, we don't have some proper coach. We don't have a lot of live event that we can go watch. So we are finding our ways to train, but we still, I mean, they have still put on an impressive job. So that I hope this can lead to something more interesting in the future. You know, maybe a few Southeast Asia talents is going to sign by the Performance Center, or this can lead to something good in Asia and China.
Now, let's go back to HKWF. You've done it there in Hong Kong. Do you have any plans to like bring it in other Asian countries, like here in the Philippines?
Um, I always want to tour HKWF to different country like Taiwan, China, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines. But so far, HKWF as a brand is still a brand that need more recognition, need more awareness. Mm, at this stage, I think um, we'll just send talent out to different country, so that people have noticed they will notice about like Hong Kong wrestler. There's something like this exists in the world, and then we try to push the HKWF brand, and that's also part of my next 10-year plan for the Asia Wrestling Revolution to tour HKWF in different kind of cities.
Now, I know this is a sensitive topic, but I think you're the perfect ambassador for this. There's a lot of things happening in your country. May you share your thoughts regarding what's going on?
Oh yeah, you see the news. That's quite sad. You know, there's fights happening every week almost. Um, well, because of this work as a performer in the ring, I travel quite a lot, and I don't have much time in Hong Kong to support my local people. Um, you know, I hope they will got what they got, or they got what they want, and then you know what we want is just very basically is the basic freedom. So I hope the government can change and they can listen to what the protesters want.
Yeah, but like moving forward, man, do you see like HKWF being as a way for the people there to escape what's going on in reality and just enjoy, even though the irony is that, you guys are wrestling, but, it's an art form in your side.
Yeah, I would say so. This is why we run pro wrestling event because this is a very entertaining show. I mean, this is a very unique kind of entertainment that exists in the world. And we have one in Hong Kong. We run 4 times a year. Um, you know, people in Hong Kong are very depressed, as I can say. That's why Hong Kong tourists, you know, outbound tourists is almost number one in the world. Um, so that they need ways to get rid of their depression. So that's what we do here. We entertain the people, forget what their daytime stress is, and enjoy a night. And then they have more power, more energy to get back to work the next day, and to tell people what they are looking for.
Well, our hearts go out to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck on your fight later, man.
Thank you very much. I hope you will enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. Ho Lun.